maybe these gatherings, we don't have lots of people attending, but the energy that's shared is passed on to your family, to your son, your father. I mean, it's really changed you. And then you're different around them. And then you go to work, and then the nurses are wondering, like, wow, why is she so calm? And it's like, it's very illuminating for them as well. So the energy here is meant to be passed on, meant to be shared, and passed and passed and passed and passed and continue on. Just like money is. The dharma of money is to pass it on. No one keeps their money underneath the pillow and never gives it away. The money is meant, and even Scrooge learned that. That was Scrooge's biggest lesson, was in the end, like, oh my God, if I'm gonna be like Marley, trapped in chains and in a hellish condition upon death, I don't want that. And then he started just giving, and then suddenly he was like so happy. He was probably happier than he ever been in his life. And the same goes for not just Scrooge, but the Grinch as well. Grinch happened the same thing. The moment moment his heart got a little bit bigger, suddenly he's like, oh, I want to give back to I forgot what you call the citizens of that little town. And then suddenly he was like giving the presents to the entire town, like Santa. Grinch had literally become like Santa. And the whole, maybe people know, Hulu's? Hulu? I can't understand what you're saying.
Who?
The Who's. Oh, the Who's.
The Whoville.
Whoville. So maybe the Who's lived there. So then he was like giving all the presents to the Who's, and the Who's. And the Grinch suddenly, every time he gave, you notice his heart became bigger and bigger and bigger. And he wasn't, at that point, the Grinch wasn't thinking about getting anything from them anymore. And so his heart became so huge. And as it became bigger, his happiness and fulfillment grew so huge. That's why
That's the Grinch that stole Christmas?
Yeah. And that's why the Grinch is such a...
I saw it.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. Well, maybe you can watch the Grinch sometime, and it can kind of be a good song for you. But I mean, that was the point of that movie or that book, is to that sharing and caring can lift up your heart, and in turn your happiness for yourself and everyone else around you. Right? Those are such wholesome stories to learn from, especially the contrast between the Grinch, who was first started out with such a tiny heart, and he was kind of miserable and like grumpy and just unhappy. He treated his servant, who was a little guy, so mean, just so mean. So the contrast between like this tiny heart versus the huge heart. I mean, in a way, we're trying to change our Grinch consciousness here into the Santa consciousness. And what does Santa mean? Saint. From the Grinch to saint. A saint is someone whose heart is so big they don't own anything anymore. They don't own anything. They give everything away. They don't need anything. They give everything away. Even the food that's eaten is an offering to God. Food is simply to feed the temple in order to assist others in their upliftment. It's the only purpose of a saint being on earth. They don't need to do it. They don't need anything from earth. None of the pleasures. We come onto earth and we want to live it up. You know that word. We want to live it up. We've got a whole bucket list going of all the things we want to do. I want to go to vacation on this spot. I want to go to this island. I want to go to this restaurant. Oh, I want to go see that show. I want to go. Everything is mostly, I don't say everything, but a lot of it is mostly for our own gratification. The saint looks at it like, how, through this action, how can I help the world, this one person or the world? Everything is designed for that alone, because they don't need anything.